Good evening from our referendum studios here in Montreal. Well, this is it. The campaign has come down to this last weekend. What began as a romp for the no side has turned around. The latest polls have the yes side slightly in front. Both sides held rallies today, the biggest here in the heart of Montreal. Tens of thousands of people from all across Canada united in one message, an emotional appeal to Quebecers to stay. Our coverage tonight begins with those people and the CBC's Paul Adams.
They converged on downtown Montreal in trains, on foot, by car, in a cavalcade of buses. We love you, it says in fractured French. For many of the thousands who came here from outside Quebec, it was an emotional journey.
I'm a francophone, I speak French, I live in Ontario, and Quebec is a part of Canada, and we can't have a Canada without Quebec.
It's like taking apart a piece of your heart. It's a piece of my country. I don't want to see it hurt.
It was a strange mix of pep rally and family reunion.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotion this morning on the bus, like so much emotion. Everyone was just breaking up into tears all over the place.
They came from Atlantic Canada, from Ontario, and from the West. Thousands of people from outside Quebec.
United we stand!
It's only a few weeks since all these non-Quebecers were congratulated by the Prime Minister, no less, for staying out of the referendum campaign, for not making waves. Today they were invited in by the federalist politicians to help salvage their faltering campaign.
That we could just show that we love them and we want them to stay with us. And we'll do our best to push our politicians to change things. We all want change.
Est-ce que vous les croyez?
In fact, the politicians serve mainly as a backdrop here. It's the crowd that made this an event. These are the images organizers hope will become a turning point in the campaign.
From Saskatchewan and Manitoba.
Because I hope they stay, and after they see all the support, I hope they do. But it is their choice.
Thousands of Quebec Federalists, mostly Anglophones, swelled the crowd. They felt a bit besieged lately.
Okay, so it was bad before, but it doesn't mean that it has to be bad forever. And if people want to try, you give it your best shot.
To some Quebec Federalists, it almost seemed as if the cavalry was riding in to the rescue.
I'm from Montreal, and I'm overwhelmed that everybody came from all parts of Canada. We thought we were abandoned. We thought absolutely no one cared about us, and I owe everybody a great vote of thanks.
It's beautiful. People in Quebec don't realize how much they're loved by other people in other provinces. They haven't traveled all that much. I don't know what we don't have enough contact because we don't realize how much they love us, and we love them too. We love Canada.
1, 2, 1, no!
Sovereignists were asked by their own organizers to stay away from today's rally, but there were a few signs of their presence, including a message from Sovereignists overhead. Welcome to our new partners, it said. Paul Adams, CBC News, Montreal.
When his turn came to address the crowd, Jean Chrétien decided to get personal. This was his fourth campaign appearance in Quebec in as many days, and by far his most emotional.
Mais nous avons aussi un pays qui s'appelle le Canada.
Quebec is our home, he said, but Canada is our country. And to save the country, Chrétien said it must be changed to accommodate Quebecers and all Canadians.
We will do what is needed. We will make the changes that are needed. We will do what is needed so that at the beginning of the next century, Canada will move in the 21st century, united from sea to sea.
After spending his campaign on the economics of independence, Daniel Johnson switched from the heads to the hearts of Quebecers, saying they can't be stopped from loving Canada. Take a look at this crowd, he told the Sovereignist leaders, and see what friendship and solidarity looks like.
It's a message that plays well in this crowd, but that's not where it counts. Because ultimately this referendum won't be decided by the people who are here, but by the people who aren't.
Like this man, with 2 wheels and 1 flag, he staged a rally of his own, furious at the federal government for helping to subsidize the event.
It's horrible. It's disgusting.
This undecided voter says the message was moving, but it hasn't helped him make up his mind.
It pleases me to know it, because I have many friends, you know, outside Quebec who are Canadian, and if whether I would vote, if I ever vote yes, it would never be for resentment.
The mass rally then broke into mini marches as pockets of patriotic Canadians tried to convince the unconvinced. If these people didn't come here, she says, you would have accused Canadians of not caring. But on this day, nobody said Canadians didn't care. The question was, did they make a difference? Mark Kelly, CBC News, Montreal.
Well, it's not clear yet whether Quebecers will be moved or miffed by today's rally. But Bloc Québécois leader Lucien Bouchard is describing the whole thing as an insult to voters. Here's Tom Kennedy on the Yes campaign.
The Sovereignists' response. Not nearly as big, but nearly as noisy. A rally of their own in Laval, just north of Montreal. Earlier in the day, after meeting supporters, Lucien Bouchard asked, where was the outpouring of love a few years ago when Quebec was asking for distinct society recognition? They say they love us now, he said, out of fear.
It was obviously something desperate. Would this manifestation had taken place in Montreal today, if the polls would be now, I would say 55% for the no and 45% for the yes, there wouldn't be any manifestation now, and Quebecers know it very well.
And Bouchard said the total cost of the rally was over $4 million, and it is in direct violation of Quebec's strict electoral expenses law. He was asked if he might not use that to protest the referendum result if he loses.
I'm not prepared to answer this question, but I can say firsthand that it would appear to me preposterous to try to fight a democratic vote through a legal fight.
But on the key question, will a mammoth display of affection make Quebecers feel differently about Canada? Not sure, Bouchard said, but it could even backfire.
It might be that they will be negatively impressed by the fact that some people are trying a few days before the vote to try to influence them.
And a few hours later, at his own rally, a plea to voters, don't be fooled. There was nothing spontaneous about the Unity rally, he said. It was a political operation. Canadians tell us they love us, but they've always refused to accept our demands to change their federation. They say they love us, but they still want to back Jean Chrétien and his vision of Canada. On and on it went, a real sign that the Sovereignist campaign believes the Unity rally could do some damage. And in order to win the referendum, the Yes campaign must convince all those wavering voters that Canada is still the same, that in spite of all the goodwill of Canadians, the door to changing the Federation to satisfy Quebec has been permanently shut. Tom Kennedy, CBC News.